No more hourly rates. Are you selling your time by the hour? Big mistake. Huge! Selling outcomes instead of effort. When you price your time by the hour, half day or day, what you're doing is giving your client a metric to weigh up what you do for them is worth. When you bill cost by the hour, clients tend to think more about the hours than the results. If your task takes longer than anticipated, your client wonders if someone else could have completed the task in less time. For example, it might only take me half a day to write a truly excellent 1,000-word article, because I know how to do it and I've got a lot of practice. Does it make more sense to charge my client for 3 hours, or does it make more sense to charge my client for the article, i.e. the outcome? Of course it does. When you sell your clients on the outcome, they know exactly what they're getting for their money. A blog, website design, a piece of copy, their problem solved. When you trade your time for money, your income is always limited. Why? Because there are only 24 hours in the day, as you know. Most of those you're going to be asleep or commuting or cooking or flicking through an endless scroll of depressing social media, which gives you 10 to 12 hours maximum to work. Even if you're charging $200 an hour or $300, you're still limited by the amount of hours in the day. For some of my corporate clients, I can earn thousands of dollars to talk for under an hour, but I still have to prep for that, put on clothes, travel to a venue, go to conferences, and heaven forbid, talk to people. And smile. It's exhausting. And it has a toll. You burn a lot of adrenaline talking to a room full of people. You could do one a day and this would appear to be a fortune, but it's still a limited fortune. Even then, there's no way I'd tell the client I'm $7,000 an hour. No, I ask them what they want, I create them a bespoke talk. I'm delivering an outcome, helping their staff make better decisions, helping their corporate board function better. It's the outcome that you're providing, not the time that it takes you to deliver that. If I'm talking to a board of senior executives and they avoid making a multi-million-pound mistake as a result, then I'm a bargain. Look, charging by the hour can have advantages. When your client asks for extra work, there's no need to negotiate. You just do the work and file the hours. Since a lot of your competitors charge by the hour, there tend to be industry standard rates. Clients can hire you without being super clear about what they want, such as they say, we want you to do some marketing strategy, so let's start with 5 hours a week. But here are the downsides. When you do this kind of consulting, it's hard to do the work you love and avoid the work you don't love. When you lack a clear, upfront agreement about what the outcome is, you have little basis for saying no. Keeping track of the hours you work is a pain in the brain. Your clients might want things done quickly, but if you're a fast worker, then billing by the hour is costing you money. First off, you need to change your mindset. You need to trade value for money. Think about the value that you create for other people and how you deliver that value. There's no rule to say that making X amount of money, you have to work Y amount of hours. What are you absolutely brilliant at? What can you do quickly and easily that takes other people a long time to do? If you're currently selling your time for money, your first step is going to be create packages of value to offer your customers. If you're a web designer, that might be 3 pages of excellent web design. If you're a copywriter, that might be selling an amazing sales page. Sell on the outcome. The second step, if you're not already there, is to start creating products, ideally digital products. These are the ones that are going to make you money time and time again because you only have to create them once. There's a lot of effort in creating a digital product, but it doesn't have to be big. Show people how to do the thing that you find really easy. Teach them that. I've taught lots of graduates how to structure an article because when they first graduate, they know how to write a boring academic paper, but they have zero clue about marketing. So one of the freebies on my website is how to structure an article. It was easy for me to write because it's what I've told people to do many times before. What's the thing you could teach in 10, 15 or 20 minutes? Could you write that down? Could you use it as a lead magnet to generate sales? What about if you were creating something bigger, like a longer course? Let's say it takes you 20 days to create it. But if you can sell it and get the equivalent of 21 days of money, it's going to be worth it. Once it's made, your customers can find you at any time and buy it even when you're asleep and they're awake on the other side of the world. This is what freedom looks like. Freedom and a lion. This isn't a course on making products, but it is a course on how to position and sell them. I do want you to think about possible digital products you could make, whether that's something you could sell or something to attract your customer. If you run a furniture shop, it might be a downloadable guide on how to take care of furniture. If you're a copywriter, make a guide on how to hire a copywriter. Consider whether there is a digital product you can make, an ebook course, an audio course, a downloadable guide, anything which uses your experience and allows you to sell it many times, or to generate customer interest in your business. Online products are powerful because you create it once and focus the rest of your time on selling it. And leave your perfection hat at the door. There's no point in spending 3 years creating something and then finding out that nobody wants it. Make something and then improve it. Over time, I'll constantly be revising this course because I'll be learning about new science which helps you. What if you're more into physical products? There are 2 types of physical products, ones you make yourself and ones you buy wholesale and then resell. Right now, with my 20 years of working in finance, I can tell you that selling low-cost, high-volume products is a hard business. Making a high margin on what you sell will transform your life. Download the profit margins sheet, where you can plug in the cost of what you're selling and the retail costs. Now for the depressing part. You have to get a grip on what it costs you to run your business. In the profit margin spreadsheet, I also want you to fill in all the costs of running your business. It's the least sciencey part of this course, but it would be frankly rude of me not to include it. I know you're an entrepreneur, you're probably allergic to accounts, but once you do that, you'll know how much you need to charge to stay alive. It's too easy to ignore, and many little business owners hate the finance end of things. I worked in finance for 20 years, and I still dread a call from the accountant. I've included a few ideas to get you started. You might have fancy accounting software, but what it rarely does is to account for our optimism bias. We're too keen to think everything is fine and we don't plan for tricky times. This isn't an accountancy course, but I do want you to think about the true cost of your time and how much it really takes to provide the products and services that you do. By getting a handle on how much you have to make to stay in business, you will know what your bottom line is for making money. That's not to say that we're going to use the real cost of things to set your price, but we do need to know that you're not heading for little business Armageddon by pricing too low to survive. And if you insist on pricing by the hour, then you'll know how much you really have to charge. I just hope it's not by the hour.